What's going on YouTube? We back with another video today on the Upanishads. I hope everybody's having a good day, blessed day. Hey, everybody's alright today. But without further ado, we're gonna get right into the Upanishads and break down some more text from the Upanishads to help you guys get some knowledge and gain and share it back with the world instead of just reading it and hogging all of it to myself. But to start off with, the selected passages from the Upanishad presents a metaphysical vision in which Brahman, the supreme reality, is established as the ultimate source, sustainer, and governing principle of the universe through poetic imagery and philosophical exposition. The text emphasizes that Brahman is self-luminous and independent, while other forms of light, power, and existence derive meaning only in relation to him. A central metaphor in these passages is the inverted Ashwatha tree, whose roots lie in Brahman and whose branches extend into the phenomenal world. The image effectively illustrates the Upanishadic view that the changing conditions of human life, pleasure and pain, birth and death, are secondary manifestations of an eternal, unchanging source. By rooting the mutable world in an immutable reality, the text asserts the supremacy and permanence of Brahman over all creative forms. The passage further reinforces this hierarchy by depicting cosmic forces such as fire, the sun, wind, and even death as operating under Brahman's authority. This portrayal underscores a worldview in which no aspect of existence is autonomous. All phenomena functions according to a universal law grounded in the supreme knowledge of this reality is presented not merely as intellectual understanding, but as a liberating insight, freeing the soul from repeated cycles of rebirth. Firstly, the text explores the experimental perception of Brahman across different realms and states of being, using analogies such as mirrors, dreams, water and light, and shadow. These comparisons suggest that while Brahman appears differently depending on the medium of perception, his essence remains unchanged. Overall, this passage exemplifies the Upanishadic synthesis of metaphysics and spirituality, presenting liberation as the direct result of realizing the soul's relation to the eternal absolute. So without further ado, you guys, let's get right into the book and see what we're talking about. So the book starts off like this. This is where we left off. Eternal among the changing consciousness of the conscious who, though one, fulfills the desires of many. The wise who perceive him seated with their self, to them belongs eternal peace, not to others. They, the wise, perceive the indescribable highest bliss, saying, "This is that." How am I to know it? Does it shine by its own light, or does it shine by reflected light? The sun does not shine there, nor the moon, nor the stars, nor do the lightnings shine there, much less this fire. When he shines, everything shines after him. By his light, all is lighted. The ancient Aswatha tree that is rooted above, branches below, and has branches below, that is pure, that is Brahman, that alone is called the immortal. All the world rests in that. None goes beyond that. This verily is that. This verse indicates the origin of the tree of creation, the Samsara Vrishya, which is rooted above in Brahman, the Supreme, extends its branches downward into the phenomenal world. Heat and cold, pleasure and pain, birth and death, and all the shifting conditions of the mortal realm, these are the branches by the origin of the tree. The Brahman is eternally pure and changing, free and deathless. From the highest angelic form to the minutest atom, all created things have their origin in him. He is the foundation of the universe. There is nothing beyond him. Whatever there is in the universe is evolved from prana and vibrates in prana. That is mighty terror, like an upraised thunderbolt. They who know that becomes immortal. From fear of him the fire burns. From fear of him the sun shines. From fear of him Indra and Venu and death the fifth speed forth. Just as the body cannot live or act without the soul, similarly nothing in the created world can exist independent of Brahman, who is the basis of all existence. His position is like that of a king who all must obey. Hence it is said that the gods of sun, moon, wind, rain do his bidding. He is likened to an unpraised thunderbolt, because of the impartial and inviolable nature of his law, which all power, great or small, must obey absolutely. If a man is not able to know him before the dissolution of the body, then he becomes embodied again in his created world. I repeat, if a man is not able to know him before the dissolution of the body, then he becomes embodied again in the created world. As soon as a man acquired knowledge of the Supreme, he is liberated. But if he fails to attain such knowledge before his soul is separated from the body, then he must take on other bodies and return again and again to his realm of birth and death, until, through varied experience, he realizes the nature of the Supreme and his relation to him. As in a mirror, so is he seen with oneself. As in a dream, so is he seen in the world of the Father's departed spirits. As in water, so is he seen in the worlds of Gandharvas, the angelic realms. As light and shadow, so is he seen in the world of Brahman, or the world of Brahma, the Creator. When by means of a purified understanding one beholds God within, the image is distinct as in a polished mirror, but one cannot have clear vision of the Supreme by attaining to the various realms, known as heaven, where one reaps the fruit of his good deeds. It is only by developing one's highest consciousness here in this life that perfects God's vision can be attained. So I got some key points that I'm going to break down for us from this passage. My key frames is Brahman as ultimate reality. Bullet point number 1. Brahman is presented as self-existence, self-luminous, and the final foundation of all existence. Nothing exists independently of him, and nothing lies beyond him. Bullet point number 2. The derived nature of the phenomenal world. All visible and experiential aspects of reality, like cosmic forces, life and death, function only through Brahman, emphasizing the material world lacks autonomous power. The inverted Ashwagandha tree, Samahira Vrishkya. The universe is symbolized as a tree rooted in Brahman, with branches extending into the mutable world of experience, illustrating the dependence of change and multiplicity on an unchanging source. Cosmic order and divine authority. Natural and divine forces such as fire, the sun, wind, and death operate out of reverence or obedience to Brahman, reinforcing the concept of a universal law governing all existence. Knowledge as liberation. Moksha. Liberation is attaining through knowledge of Brahman. Failure to realize this truth results in continued rebirth and entanglement in the cycle of birth and death. Samsara. Unity of the individual soul and the Supreme. The text implies a fundamental relationship between the soul and Brahman. Excuse me, y'all. Where realization of this correction leads to freedom and immortality. Last bullet point, perception of Brahman across realms. Brahman is received differently across various states and realms of existence, yet remains unchanged in its essence, highlighting the limitations of perception versus ultimate reality. Now, in conclusion, the selected passages from the Upanishads articulate a metaphysical framework in which Brahman is identified as the supreme, self-luminous reality from which all existence originates. Brahman is portrayed as independent of all external sources of light or power, while all the other forms of existence derive their vitality and order from him. Through the metaphor of the inverted Ashwagandha tree, the text explains the relationships between eternal in the phenomenal worlds. The changing conditions of life, such as pleasure and pain, birth and death, are described as branches emerging from Brahman, who remains pure, unchanging, and beyond decay. This imagery reinforces the idea that the material world is transient and dependent upon an internal foundation. The path further emphasizes Brahman absolutely authority by depicting cosmic forces, natural elements, and even death itself as acting in accordance with his law. Nothing in the universe exists independently. All powers operate under a unified cosmic order sustained by Brahman. Finally, the text presents knowledge of Brahman as the key to liberation. Those who realize the Supreme attain freedom from rebirth, while those who fail to do so remain bound to the cycle of birth and death until true understanding is achieved. Brahman is received differently across realms and states of being, yet his essence remains unchanged, underscoring the Upanishad teaching that liberation arises from recognizing the soul's relationship to the eternal absolute. So I hope you guys got something out of this Upanishad reading today. I hope you guys learned something. We're almost done with the book. We're 70% through with the book, according to Apple Books. So we won't have much more videos on this. But this is Unlocking You, the book of Unlocking You. So I hope you guys really do learn something from this. But thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, leave your comments. Let me know how I can fix these videos to be better. But until then, peace.